Hello there to the 92%. Are you part of the 92%? I'm proud of myself. I did my big one. Did you? Because if you actually showed up and showed out the way we did in big numbers here in these United States of America to press that button for Madam VP Harris, you are in the lucky bunch. Because guess what? We get to sit it out now, y'all. We're done. Oh, we're done. We're done.
Everybody may not like the movie The Color Purple, but if you're not intimately familiar with that plot line, you may need to go back and watch that movie again. Because I'm going to tell you a secret. Patriarchal America is Mr. And we just entered into the until you do right by me, everything you even think about is going to crumble part of the movie. Black women reclaiming their energy and removing themselves from this situation is a great thing for them. Not so much for y'all. And I don't think you all realize the metal pointy object you have to your throat right now. You know, the thing with the stakes that does the cutting. America, as a whole, has been neglectful and abusive towards black women for its entire history. And black women, despite all this, has been America's saving grace. Listen to me now, believe me later on. Rather than respect that and empower not just a black woman, but black women as a whole to continue to be that blessing, y'all chose to continue to pump up Mr.'s big old ego at the dinner table. That's what y'all chose to do.
We took a collective breath that day, that fateful morning, when all of us saw the election returns come in and we saw the numbers and the exit polls. I do not support that man, R. Kelly, but he had that one song saying, "When a woman's fed up, there's nothing you can do about it." He was talking about black women because we have had enough. Collectively, we breathe a sigh of relief that now we get to hang up our capes, put down that megaphone, untie those marching shoes, and throw away those protest signs. We're not going to nobody's women's march. We're not signing up for your newsletter alerts. We're not jumping on no calls. We're not going up to Planned Parenthood trying to protect other people's rights. We're not jumping up and down for anybody else's causes but our own. But our own. Do you hear me? We have said one band and one sound because the Blue Bracelet Mafia would rather sit at home and do little strings of beads and make blue bracelets. They are marching their way to Michael's as we speak in Hobby Lobby because their little fifis is hurt. They don't want people to think that they're with him. They don't want the burden. And it's so beautiful to witness in real time because we don't have that luxury to take off our black skin. We don't get to take off the fact that we live in an intersectional life of being both a woman and a minority in this country. That being black and being a woman at the same time. That this election was a referendum on black women. I know on election day, babes, I had on my blue boldly and proudly. I had on my Chucks and Pearls. Yes, I did. Madam VP was supposed to be the one. She had the resume, she has the credentials, but America still said, nah, we don't want that because we're too misogynistic as a country, we're too sexist as a country, and we definitely don't like black folk. If we just keep it a bean, y'all. But what I'm doing this video for is to encourage us in my community. I know this is a public video, but in my community, you are my community if you are in that 92% to say to you, it is okay that it hurt and it stung like no other. And again, it felt like a referendum on us. The hope and the future that we saw with this person that we can identify with, an HBCU alum, somebody who was a part of the D9 organization that had a lot of thoughts around our future, homeowners tax credit, stopping the price gouging on groceries and things that we really related to, you know, student loan debt relief, all these things, right? Climate change, things that are for the safety and health of so many people. was shut down because of hate. And that's fine. Y'all can feel how y'all feel. Y'all can put that man's name all up and through my comments and leave red emojis and stuff. I don't care because harsher things have been done to me already. My people are a resilient people. We come from a past and a history that is very unique in this world. Taken from our home, come here in chains, and forced to work here and build this country for nothing. Okay. And then get treated like second class citizens, even though we've been here all along. With all that said, that we still have hope. We're just going to apply it in different ways. Use this energy and this momentum and time to address our families and what our community needs. We will, we will now create systems of support and mutual aid for one another, similar to how they ran the Montgomery bus boycott. It was a very planned and organized way to address the needs so we can have equality. We can have our resources met, right? Same with the Underground Railroad, how they had to do things hushed and secretive, but also very with a purpose in mind. Black women, our ancestors built us up. They've shown us the way in the blueprint, and they paid the dues for us. So now we get to rest in that. We get to reserve that fight and that fire and that wisdom for our community only. That means for your loved ones, your relatives, your offspring, your spouse, whoever you are in community with, that now, that labor now is just for them. Let the blue bracelets go fight now. It's up to them. Let them go and do what they're going to do. If they're going to go to that women's march, let them. They want to do craft projects, let them. Leave them alone because they left us alone. We have a responsibility. And I love the principles of Kwanzaa, even though the organizer, the founder of Kwanzaa was a problematic person. Look it up. I was very shocked by that. But collective work and responsibility and unity and cooperative economics is something now we need to take a page out of those fundamentals and apply it. So, communal and mutual aid funds, give to these food and grocery funds, and give to the GoFundMe for the Black Project 2025 effort. I'll leave a link in the description below. We're going to concentrate on getting local elections now to work for our benefit because presidential, in 4 years, if we decide to show up, we'll see. We'll see if we are fully healed by then. But now is the time for building boycotting Black Friday because all the reasons that we constantly talk about year after year. We're going to work on our reproductive health and freedom because that young lady who died in Texas because she could not get treated because she was having a miscarriage, that's a scary reality of what's to come. We already have Black maternal death high numbers. More of that is coming. So we're going to shore up our resources in that way. Get your contraceptive needs done now before they decide to like have all of our doctors spying on us. Delete those period apps because they will be tracking. Get your diabetic supplies if you're getting them through a state sponsored program. So that basically means for us during this time of opting out and taking a step back, we have to focus on our own healthcare needs and wellness needs. That means exercising. That means learning to take up a hobby that is relaxing and is focused on you. Take up gardening, take up crocheting, take up reading. Let's get back into studying. Let's get back into the things that build us up in so many different ways. And also, it helps in terms of education for our youth because if they bust up the Department of Education, and we already know they're trying to spin these alternative facts about American history and chattel slavery and rewriting what happened in the Holocaust because certain states are removing Black studies and curriculum that have to do with other marginalized groups. LGBT history is going to be proofed at one point. All kinds of things are going to be removed with this person who's basically going to be a dictator. How can you be a climate denier and we're still having hurricanes in like November? But you want to bust up FEMA. The people who voted him in, when you need help and your house is floating down some river, the again, like Francesca says, the leopards are definitely going to eat y'all face. But I also want to encourage us that we are resilient, we are powerful. Just know that our movements, our freedom movements, we laid the groundwork for everybody else. Literally every single right that we thought we were fighting for in that booth to protect LGBT citizens, to protect women, children, elders, disabled. All of us are going to fall in one of those categories at some point. We're all going to get old. We're all going to need health care. So people are sitting up there like, oh, I voted for him because I wanted to get rid of Obamacare. I didn't want to get rid of the Affordable Health Care Act. Say what now? They're one and the same. But because you chose to listen to the rhetoric, here you go. The Latinos that went in the direction of that man surprised me, y'all. But on day one, he's talking about mass deportation and denaturalization. It's going to be a sad, sad day for a lot of people. Leopards, meet the face, because that's what y'all got waiting on y'all. I also want to talk to y'all about opting out in other circles. So if you happen to be an employed individual, do what's on your job description. Don't be a hero in the workplace. Don't sign up for the extra projects without recognition or reward. Don't organize the company Christmas party. Don't organize the social outings. You don't have to mix and mingle with the people who basically drove into your back. You don't need to do it for your own safety and protection. Same in your neighborhood. If you live in a red state, keep your head on a swivel. If you live in a blue state, keep your head on a swivel, because you don't know who actually is for you and who's against you. It's people saying that they're going to buy the blue bracelet who voted for that man. So it's already some trickery and some schemery happening with this thing. So be careful. If you are in a state that allows certain objects to be carried, you're going to need to do that, because these people will act a plumb fool. And unlike them, we're not storming no capitals, because we're very mindful, very cutesy, and very demure. We take our lumps and bruises and move on. But there's some people that don't know how to move on. I'm gonna insert a clip right here, because this is the type of people that supported him, that would threaten to harm an individual for having a difference in voting. And we're not doing that. But we're going to keep a safety net around our own and support our own and protect our own. Just a little bit of hope and a glimmer of just something I hope makes you smile. I really wanted to see the AKA stroll on the National Mall on Inauguration Day. That selfish part of me just wanted to see it. The silk presses was going to be silk pressing like no other. Who else was ready for that part of it? Like the selfish part of me. And then the other part was, you rarely see Madam VP in dresses. She's all about a pantsuit. But I wanted to see what she was going to wear to the ball. Like, she's got some fly pictures from the 90s in which she was showing off body yada yada. But like, what was she going to pull? Who was going to be the designer? Was it going to be a black designer, Asian designer? Like, I just need to know what was going to be the vibe, what was going to be the moment. Was her hair going to be up? Was she going to continue to rock the silk press? These are the questions that need to be answered. If not for the reason of democracy and freedom, we needed a moment for a fashionable first woman president look. But anyway, one can dream. And thank you to the 92%. You all are the best. I love you. I love us for real. With that said, my last 3 takeaways. We ain't marching with them. No more cookout invites, because look where it got us. And definitely don't make no bracelets with them or for them. That's all I got. I'm Latrice Kelly. If you enjoyed the video, yay us. If not, you probably voted for that man. But I'm ready to see my comments go up or not. I'm going to have to put some filters on this video. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around. Oh, one more tip. I took off my mic. I hope you can hear me. We getting off that Twitter app, X, whatever y'all calling it these days. I've never been a user over there. But for obvious reasons, that man who owns and controls it is taking your data and is muting people and, impeding people's rights to speak out because he's best friends with that thing that they just put back in office. We're going to get on some new social apps. We're going to do our advocacy work underground and in other places and spaces, because that app is just definitely not for us. And that's one of the other things we can definitely control during this time of rest and reflection.